other thing is with the terrorists, you have to take out their families. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their families.
Their families, too. All right. Mary Matalin joins us, as promised, Republican political consultant, former advisor to Vice President Dick Cheney, former campaign director for President George H.W. Bush. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Steve.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Donald Trump before we get to specifically what he said there. The latest Quinnipiac poll is out. We'll put it up. Trump with 27%. It's actually up from the last time they did it. He went up. Rubio is next in line at 17. Ben Carson and Ted Cruz at 16. And someone else we'll talk about in a minute, Jeb Bush, at 5. So can anything stop Donald Trump?
Well, we have to stipulate, as we always do in these intelligent conversations, that national numbers are meaningless when it comes to the unfolding of the primary. So we have Iowa to get through, which requires much organization on the ground. And then we have New Hampshire, which is a retail state politics, and with the SEC primary. So all these numbers are meaningless. But there is something illustrative and concerning for Trump, and that is that he has the highest number of voters who say they absolutely will not vote for him. It's over 25%. So that means he has to get the lion's share of the 75% who are open, and 65% of all the respondents in these polls say that they might change their vote. So it's still a very volatile business out there, and we're not going to know anything until we see what happens in Iowa.
Yeah, okay, and Iowa's fast approaching. The holidays will be here, and then Iowa will be here before you know it, right after that. When Trump says the things he says, like what he said today on Fox and Friends there, that you have to kill the terrorist families. Now, Israel, when they get a Palestinian terrorist who's been dead or in prison, they then, they raise the house of his house and their families, but they don't do it with them in it. They don't kill the families. Is that going to hurt him? I mean, is anything going to make a difference, do you think?
No, nothing that he says is going to hurt him because it's actually his strategic imperative, because the more that he's attacked by the mainstream press, the stronger he becomes. And in that case, while we're not used to the language that he uses, it is true that these recruits are often, it's an honor to be martyred, and your family is literally paid when you're martyred.
Yes,
so if the family suffered, then yeah, that's a tactic. I wouldn't have said it the way he said it, but it's truly a tactic. And he's also right about it's hard to avoid collateral damage when civilians are being used as not only shields, but the civilians themselves are being tortured to do what the terrorists want, to turn over their villages. Their sons and daughters are being killed and raped. This is not a conventional war. These are not conventional enemies.
So he's correct in what he's saying. It's just the problem with that you might have with it is how he's saying it.
I don't have any problem with it because I loathe political correctness, and he's not my favorite conservative, but he is my favorite truth to power in that he's showing that we don't have to go with the conventional wisdom, political correctness, that you can have an honest opinion and state it. I'm not sure that I agree with all of his policies, and I don't think he's truly a conservative in the way that Ted Cruz is truly a conservative, but I like that he's challenging the way our rhetoric has become so sclerotic in political campaigns.
Let's look at the rise. I know, notwithstanding what you said about the national polls, let's look at the rise of Rubio and Cruz and George Bush, that's good. Governor Bush Governor Bush reportedly has spent $28 million on TV ads. He stays at 5%. Trump has spent $217,000. How do you account for that?
Because we've been seeing this for several cycles now, that money on the air, which is what the lion's share of campaign dollars are spent on, is meaningless. The only money that made any difference in the last Romney campaign was the early money that Obama spent in the Ohio primary. People just tune out these ads. Nothing breaks through. We actually tune out our politicians live. The only guy we're not tuning out, which doesn't mean we're totally tuned into his message, is Trump. So what Trump is getting is earned media, free media, which is 10 times more valuable. It's priceless compared to paid media, and this paid media is just not the deal anymore.
All right, Rubio, Cruz, and Carson, your analysis on them.
I think Rubio is becoming, for those who are concerned about Jeb, and I think Jeb's still got plenty of left in there. Rubber hasn't hit the road yet, but I think some conventional wisdom is that Rubio fills the establishment spot if anything happens to Jeb. Again, I don't think anything is going to happen to Jeb. Cruz, I think, has become the conservative darling, and he has the only plan to coalesce, have the various factions of the evangelicals and constitutional conservatives and economic conservatives to coalesce. He's the only one that has to coalesce. And Ben Carson, I think, has such unique integrity that people, he and Carly, both people continue to want to encourage that kind of participation in politics.
Yeah, no, and so you think that Bush, just want to pick up on him again, you think he's in it till the end, and do you think he has a chance to rise still?
I think they, look, I only know, this is my 12th presidential campaign. Yes, I started when I was in kindergarten. But I know something that's has always been true, something Lee Atwater taught me. If you win, then you're a winner. So you have to win something, yes. But so does Trump. So does everybody else.
Mary, always great to talk to you. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope we'll talk before Christmas. But if not, you and your husband and family, a wonderful Merry Christmas, and we'll speak to you soon.
All right, Steve.
Take care. Mary Matalin, ladies and gentlemen. The Malzberg panel with Roger Simon and Brent Badowski is coming up next. Don't go away.